Hey everyone, welcome to the Barely Normal Wet Shaver. That would be me, Doug Bear. So, what am I going to do today? I am going to join in on the fun that has been taking place this week with reference to Value Slickness Week. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take two soaps and do a comparison. On one side, I will put Spearhead Shaving Company's Bergamot and Sandalwood. Really nice, simple scent notes combined together. Pleasing, pleasant scent. On the other side of my face, I'm going to use, and you saw me use this maybe a couple weeks ago if you watch my videos, this is Heritage Hills Patriot, which is a lime, bergamot, and patchouli. Patchouli just kind of darkens what would otherwise be a bright citrusy kind of scent, and it too is very simple, but it's a great medley that works well together. So I am doing this in a froth type lathering approach where I've mixed in here the water already, shaken it up, and the reason why I'm doing that with both sides, with both soaps rather, is because for me, again, I've said this before, it's a way that I can get the most consistency and usually dial in a soap. I can shake it till I see that it is about the way I like it, and that way I'm kind of comparing fairly apples to apples. I'm going to be using, to keep it fairly comparable, two brushes with the same type of knot. Now this is a 24 millimeter and this is a 26, but you know, not much of a difference. It's all those are Timberwolf knots, synthetics. And for the razor of the day, for the shaver, I'm going to be using the IBC Shavette with a Pro feather blade in it. This is a great razor. It really is. I've had this for a couple years now. I'm going to go ahead and say it with every finger I possibly can crossed. I've never cut myself with this thing. I've got poison ivy right now, and I'm probably really pushing it, but I have that much confidence in this razor. Now, in all honesty, just from a point of view on this razor, I had the great opportunity with Josh Hood of Shooting the Shaves to do a little exchange to compare. He has a feather, I believe it's a DX, and this, of course, I gave to him to use. I got to give the edge slightly to the feather in that it's extremely intuitive. It's a great rolled edge, but I know this razor so well, wouldn't trade it for the world. And I think it's a super high performer. Plus this will take a DE or an injector blade or the artisan style blades, which is kind of nice for its diversity, and it has a magnetic head, so when you slip it in, boom, it locks in place. It has these little barrel positions that make it so that you really don't have to guess, so it loads pretty easily as well. So I enjoy this one as well. So they're both very, very good shavettes. So that's what we'll be using. But to get started, let me load my face. So with a relatively dry brush, it's just a little bit damp. I'm going to dip this into the container and just clean out like I do. I'm not going to show you the process because you've seen it before, and if you haven't, you can go back to my earlier videos. And I just sweeped out a little bit. There's not much in there. We'll add that to the face. And that's a pretty nice wet, you know, I didn't have to wet the face because I start with an extreme amount of hydration at the very beginning, and then we'll just add the froth. And this side, which is my right side, is getting the Heritage Hills. So that's one dunk of the brush, and here's one more. And well, I can tell that's a pretty nice lather. You know, and I can tell from the froth of both of these that they are both great soaps. Very high-end, high quality. Now, the price on these two soaps are within pennies of each other. Spearhead has offered a price of $9.99. The bergamot and sandalwood, for whatever reason, is $12.99. So that works out to roughly about 3 1/4. And that's for 4 ounces. And then on the Heritage Hill side, which is what I have on my face right now, that is at $19 for 6 ounces, which breaks down to about $3.50. But right now, Heritage Hill is offering a promotion opportunity that with what supplies are left, they're offering it at $14.95. So that comes in at $2.49. So just temporarily, right now, the big value, I would say, is in Heritage Hills. So just getting this opened up for the Spearhead side to load my face here, and just grab a little bit of that excess froth that's in the container and apply. Now I can tell you already from the start that it doesn't have as much soap on the brush, and so it feels a little bit drier. Let's see what happens when I froth it a little bit and see what the density builds to. So that was just one swish under the brush, or under in the container, the brush in the container. And they're pretty close. They really are very comparable. So you can see I've got a pretty good amount of product on, at least the way I like to do it. Now I will say, I'm noticing that there is, let me just compare again. Yep. There is a little bit more density in the Heritage Hill, and also a little bit more of a sheen, but the type of froth is very dense and very similar. I don't think I'd be able to tell the difference, so I just think it's the characteristic differences, but they both feel great on the face. All right, let's see what happens. So again, Heritage on my right side, Spearhead on my left, and in my left hand right now, JR, dude, get one of these. My ever-loving sponge. So let's get started. IBC ready to rock and roll. I'm gonna do just a basic pass. Nice. Had to make sure which brush I put, or which side I washed off here, keeping track of what I got. So most of you haven't seen me shave completely before. What I do after I do the cheek region is I invert again, because I have this more than 90-degree angle between my chin line and my neck. And no matter how much I try to stretch it, I can't get it as well as if I just go under a little bit inverted like this and clean that out. And then what comes on underneath is very easy for me to remove on the initial pass. So there you go. Feel removed a fair amount. Feels pretty good. Let's go ahead and shave the Heritage Hillside. Again, the same thing. I just come down through Makes it easier to remove what's under the neck. Boy, nothing like shaving with poison ivy. Yeesh. And that's it. So now what I'm going to do is, this side has a little longer to dry, but I'm going to go ahead and go over with what's left of the residual. See if there's any chatter, where there's enough. It's not bad. See what happens on the Heritage Hill side. Okay, so what can I tell you already from the first pass? That there seems to be more hydration and moisture feel to the first pass on the Heritage Hill side. The slickness and residual slickness wasn't bad, but this side is drying out a lot faster than this side is. This still feels a little bit more post, or a little bit more moisture to the skin. But other than that, man, I wouldn't have known, other than the scent, what I had on one side or the other. But I'd give the slight edge on, well, you know, now that I think about it, the density was a little bit more on the Heritage Hill. The sheen was a little higher, which is probably an indication why there was a little bit more hydration, which might be why I'm feeling that this side still feels a little bit more moisturized than the Spearhead side. But both did fantastic. I mean, what great values in both soaps. Okay, so second pass. Let's give it a go. So to try to tell a story, I'm going to use this time right now while I'm loading, and then I'm going to let it sit for a little bit and just see what happens as far as dissipation to the lather, if there is any dissipation at all. And I can tell you right now that on the Heritage Hill side, that this may have dried out a skitch, but not much. It feels really, really good, but I think I am going to go back and just touch it in the froth again one more time. Just to add a little bit more moisture to it. Let's see if it's the same case with the Spearhead. Yeah, I think it too needs a little bit more moisture. After that, you know, you talk and you sit around and yammer, and it can dry out just a little bit. But both feel pretty darn good, and they still have plenty of density comparable. All right, so I'm going to let this sit on my face for a while I tell you a little story. And this is just off the top, so I hope it comes across right. But reason why I haven't done a video in a while is because I had a few weeks of incredible challenges. I had a very good friend who went through an extremely difficult time, and I tried to be there to help to the best of my abilities, while also had an associate partner come down with Lyme disease and a rare, actually I shouldn't say rare, an unknown respiratory issue. He's got, with the combination of Lyme disease, something that is making it extremely difficult for him to breathe. If you've ever noticed in your own patterns of breathing, you'll take a few short breaths and then you need to take a deep one. And he can't get that deep breath. And it's scaring the living daylights out of both of us, as friend and associate of mine. And we were up to, we were supposed to be going up to Maine to an appointment with a big account, and he wasn't able to make it. And I showed up for that appointment, worried about him, but also having to do the appointment with nothing more than my shirt and pants and no samples. And the gyrations and the things that we had to do to make that appointment even come close to working was pretty stressful. So those two things were going on. After that, went on a vacation, which just was crazy. We had neighbors on either side of the cottage that were very, very difficult to handle and deal with, extremely difficult. We had a cottage that had 2 broken windows and plumbing issues, and just, I won't go on any further into that, but that was very, very difficult. And then came back to the most difficult, sad situation. A niece who I'm not extremely close to, but close enough that we see each other a few times a year. She had a double mastectomy, and in the process of coming home, she found her 2 children crying over the body of their dad, who had passed away from an epileptic seizure. And I mean, unreal, absolutely unbelievable. So I've been every which way but loose in my life of late with all the things that have happened. A little bit of poison ivy on my face as well, which is no big deal compared to all the others. I'm going to keep my composure. I'm going to keep it separate. It's been a few weeks, but what I want to say is that, when these types of things happen, boy, it's amazing when you have faith, when you are a Christian, and what do? I mean, you go and you help your friends and your family. You're there for them, and you face the adversity of what life throws at you, and you understand and you know that there are things that will happen that aren't fair, that aren't easy. No one ever promised that. That's not the game. But what has happened through all of these different situations is some very, very touching, loving, amazing moments in the mix of all this complex and difficult times. And it's it just helps me confirm even more in my faith, and gives me hope amongst all the things that happen, from death to job stress to friends with hardships to vacations that go awry. It's amazing. I can sit here with a smile. I can separate all these things, knowing that I'm helping and that I am strong in what I believe, and you keep rolling. So I don't know, for whatever that's worth, I wanted to share that with you. This is a neat community, and I'm not looking for anything other than prayers for my niece, and for my associate. If you have it in your heart to want to pray for them, John DeMasi is my associate, and my niece is Jessica Hammaker. So if you would be willing, that would be great. All right, so I've had plenty of time to talk, and I can say that these 2 lathers are looking pretty darn good. I don't see any dissipation. I may add a little bit more moisture just for the heck of it on each side for the second pass. But man, these are impressive lathers. They really are. Okay, back at it, second pass. So hopefully all you guys are having a little better luck in life than what I've had lately. And I'm not going to be complaining or moaning, just hoping all of you have a little bit more to be thankful for of late. So great feel, great slickness. I'm going to go ahead and pass through this area without any lather, and that felt really good. Again, the moisture that I can feel on this side, it's building. It's actually getting even more so. It feels great. And this is the Heritage Hillside. You can see I'm using that reverse pass. That way I don't have to come back through and do another pass over the mustache area. Feels pretty good. Do the Spearhead side. There's plenty of residual left on both sides, and the slickness I can feel, you know, just trying to get underneath to get a good grip. Whoop. That felt a little close to danger. Man, nice. Boy, these soaps are fantastic. Hard to beat at this price point, honestly. I can't ask much more. Likewise, I'm going to go over it again. See back here. So I have cursed with, you know, all these odd ways and directions. My beard wants to grow this way. If I go up or down back behind the chin line, I get nothing. So I have to kind of go at it this way in order to really get the reduction that I need before my final pass. Feels pretty good. Wow. That's one thing about these shavettes. Boy, you can really get away with a 2-pass. In fact, I am going to stop. I'm already 22 minutes in, which is a long time for my videos, and just say, what can I say about these guys? Awesome value. Great week to be able to feature both of these. I think it'll be great, interesting to follow Heritage Hills with what they do with the 135 or 146 or whatever they decide to do in ounces, and see how they grow with splashes. And don't ever forget about their cause, which is the Hidden Battles Foundation. What a wonderful foundation that is that they give back to. And with Spearhead, top notch. I'm sure you heard from others who have also had great experiences with these soaps, and it'll be great to follow them as well. You're not going to lose on either one of these cases, and it confirms what a lot of us have been thinking and or saying, which is, you know, if you want to pay the price and you want that incredible feel that some of the soaps you may like that are out there that are at a higher price, there's nothing wrong with that. But it's also very, very enticing and interesting to see that here's two companies that are offering prices at roughly around $3.25 to $3.50 under normal, or $3.30 under normal circumstances right now. Incredible values at a level that I would put in top 5. You know, I mean, I have tried just about everything, and I think this is a high quality premium pair of products. So that's all I'm going to say for the moment, except that I am working on that video where I show magnification or using a loupe to show the edges of what you want to look for when you are honing. But that's not easy for me anyways. I have hardly had the time, number one. Number two, I got to think about how I can photograph these things. I have actually 2 magnifiers that I'm going to try to use and see if I can show scratch patterns, show width of the edge, and show end to end, toe to heel as far as what you're looking for. So hopefully that'll be coming soon. But in the meantime, brothers and sisters, I hope you enjoyed it. Peace out.